Hi everybody, Steve here, and welcome to the second in the series of these interviews where we are interviewing the presenters that are coming up at the Soft Tissue Therapy Congress, which is on the 20th of October 2019. Can you believe we're in August already? And that means one thing. The early bird offer ends on the 30th of August, so if you do want to enroll at the lower price, then go onto our website and enroll, and details of that will follow at the end of this interview. I'm delighted today to be joined by Michael Stamborough, the legend that is Michael Stamborough. And Michael, is this the second time he's going to present it? So we're really glad that you're back. Michael presented for us in 2015 with the title Restore Screw Home Action to the Knee, which was a fascinating title, so fascinating that everyone wanted him back. So I'm glad that you're back with us today. People who have studied here at MIMT will know Michael from the subject myofascial tension technique on the diploma, and myofascial release is something that Michael has a passion for. So rather than me do you any injustice, Michael, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody and tell us a little bit about your background?
Thank you. Hi. The background is 40 years of work with myofascial release, myofascia, trained at the Rolf Institute, and obviously was very influenced there by the work and the insights of Ida Rolf, and also the questions that she had about what was happening when we did this style of work. So she developed the work, she provided some insights and answers, and also was well aware that there was a lot more to be done. And so part of my work as a clinician, I've always had a strong interest in what's the sort of basis, the physiologic basis of what we're doing. How do we produce results? What's happening? And so in the last 10 years, there's been an enormous increase in the research done onto fascia, and I've followed some, not all of that, particularly the aspects of it that relate to the work that I do and teach through my group, Stamborough Educational Group, and so I offer classes around Australia and somewhat around the world at different times in that style of work.
Okay, so I mentioned at the beginning the what you presented last time, which is Restore the Screw Home Action, which is very practical based. Now, I'm looking at your title. You've probably won the prize for the longest title that we have of a lecture, so I'm going to have to read it so I can jog my memory.
Yeah.
The title, Connective Tissue Dynamics from Health to Disease, with a subtitle, The Role of Mechanical Force on the Physiology of Fibroblasts. Now, I've read up a little bit about it,
yes,
and it sounds intriguing. So why don't you give us a little bit of an overview of what we will be discussing on the day?
Well, I think the kernel of the whole thing is going further into the discussion on mechanotransduction, and I made some reference to it in the previous presentation at the conference. I had a few minutes where I talked about some of the current research in fascia that was of interesting. So mechanotransduction is simply describing the process whereby cells convert mechanical force into electrochemical processes inside the cell. And so we have fibroblasts. We're particularly interested in the primary cell in fibroblasts. Certain things happen in the environment: compression, shear forces, torsioning forces, fluid flow. All of those things can signal, and in fact are signaling all the time, the behaviors within the cell itself. And so what genes get switched on and expressed, and what cytokines and proteins and enzymes, growth factors, all of these things that come out of the cell into the extracellular matrix, are determined a lot by mechanical force.
Right. So in theory, what we're saying is for guys who are coming in is that when you're, I suppose, treating, we're looking at what effect initially it has on tissue dysfunction, but we're talking about here that when you're doing the therapy as to what impression you can actually have on the cell structure itself, and what the benefits that come from that.
That's right. So it can go in two directions. There's lots of research that shows that there's there can be when fluid flows stopped, or certain kinds of excessive mechanical force, or the complete absence of mechanical force, as in immobility, whether it's just a postural choice that people make, or whether they're actually immobilized in a splint or a cast or something like that. That has very detrimental effects on the behavior of the fibroblasts. And so we have a possible process that's going somewhat sort of from health to disease, thus the title. That the research, and there's quite a bit of it, that supports, and quite strongly, that we can in some ways kind of turn that around. We can influence the cells so that they start to become more engaged in things like rebuilding the tissue, reducing inflammation. So that's one of the primary focuses, not so much just a gloom and doom, like, oh, from health to disease, but also from disease to health, possibly. Sure. Yeah.
Fantastic. And I was speaking with Michael before camera. I'm sure he throws up lots of questions, which is why you need to be there to hear all about it in greater detail. It is going to be a great day. Michael's one of 5 presenters, and all fantastic presenters. So if you haven't been before, it's worth coming along. It's on the 20th of October at Deakin University. It goes from 9 till 5:30. It's all catered for, and you're going to learn a lot from that day. And as I mentioned at the beginning, the early bird offer does finish on the 30th of August. So if you do want to come along, give us a call on 1300 839 839, or go to our website, which is mimt.edu.au, and you can enrol directly through there. Michael, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
For your time today. And guys, we do hope to see you on the 20th of October. Thank you.